Hi, my name is Precious, and one of my bachelor's of science is in psychology. Today, we're going to talk about motivation versus momentum and why discipline wins. How many times have you felt motivated? And I'm talking about really, really motivated. You set the plans, you set the goals, you made the plans, you may have even gotten a planner or a new workout set. But after a week or 2 weeks or even a month, the fire is gone and you're back where you started. That's the myth of motivation. It feels so good, but it doesn't last. If you need change that is sustainable and long term, you need discipline, not motivation. Motivation is emotional, it's fleeting. It rises and falls based on your mood, based on your sleep, based on your stress levels, and even the weather. Motivation is reactive. You feel the spark, you tell yourself, this is it. This is the time I'll change and I'll do better. And often you end up don't changing and you go back to where you started. This is because motivation does not survive under resistance. It doesn't hold up under pressure. And when that high is gone, so does the commitment. It goes away. I want you to think about it. How many people start New Year's resolutions in the new year feeling so motivated? They tell themselves, this is finally the year that I'm going to change. And then by February, they are already burnt out. This is why discipline is so important. Discipline is not about what you feel, it's about what you choose to pursue, even when motivation has gone out the window. A lot of people don't even realize this, but the act of discipline builds trust with yourself. A primary example I will give is every morning that I wake up, I always make my bed. And when I'm going through a hard day, I look at my bed and it's neat. It's ready for me to just lay in it after I've showered. The act of me making my bed every single day, even on the days that I don't feel like it, makes me trust myself. I know that on the days when things are hard, I will always look out for my best interest. I don't wake up every morning in a good mood. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I have things I need to do. But despite that, I think about the version of me that's going to come home after a long day and be so happy when they see a bed that is ready and already made. So when you follow through on something, even if it's small, your brain logs that experience and says, I'm the kind of person that always shows up. This is so powerful because when you keep the promises to yourself, you don't rely on external validation. You become internally driven to accomplish your goals. Now let's talk about momentum and how to build it. Momentum is progress compounding. It's the moment when an action becomes autopilot. So when it starts to feel easier to keep on going than to stop. Here's a simplified overview of how momentum works. You take one small step, your brain rewards that with a dopamine hit. That positive feedback reinforces that behavior. So when you repeat it enough times, it becomes easier and smoother and even more automatic. In behavioral psychology, this aligns with the behavioral momentum theory. This is actually introduced by Nevin and Grace in the 2000s. I want you to think of it like Newton's first law for human behavior. Once a behavior is in motion, especially one that is reinforced regularly, it tends to stay in motion. Behavioral momentum suggests that behaviors in rich reinforcement contexts become more resistant to disruption. In other words, this means that when you train yourself to consistently show up, even in small ways, you're less likely to stop even when stress, fatigue, or distraction hits. This is why high frequency, low effort behaviors can be so powerful. Making your bed, writing at least 100 words a day. These small wins can add on to the weight of your behavioral inertia. Momentum is not built through intensity. It's built through repetition in a stable context. So how exactly do you build momentum? First step is to start small and consistently. A 2-minute habit daily is better than a 1 hour long session every month. The second one is reinforce the quick wins. let your brain associate that behavior with success. Third step is remove the barriers. Make your habits frictionless to start. Fourth is to stack habits. Anchor new behaviors to your existing behaviors. The real formula here is that discipline gets you moving, but movement builds the momentum. Momentum reduces friction, and less friction makes consistency easier. And then the consistency becomes the identity. When you internalize the identity of someone who follows through with what they said they were going to do, then everything changes. I'm going to give you some real world applications to go from motivation to disciplined. The first step is to set a non-negotiable anchor habit. Ask yourself, what is one thing I could do no matter what, even if it's just 5 minutes? Second step is eliminate the need for decision making. Prepare your space ahead of time. Set your clothes. If your goal is no phones or devices before bed, turn all your devices off once dinner is done so that you know it's time for bed. If your goal is to start running as soon as you wake up, put your running shoes and your clothes right next to you so that when you wake up, everything is already set in stone. Last but not least, celebrate consistency, not intensity. Some days you have 100% to give it your 100%. Other days, you may just have 4% to give. And if you give it that 4% that you have, you gave it your all. So celebrate the consistency and not the intensity. So you don't have to feel inspired every single day. You just have to show up. When discipline shows up first, momentum follows, and momentum will carry you out further than motivation ever could. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or concern, and let me know if there's anything you'd like me to further expand on. I will be including the reference I used by Nevin and Grace in 2000s in the caption below. That is all for now. Bye.